I'm not sure who he was talking about. I want to say something first about Lori. Lori has actually been on the board longer than I have. But the reason she's so young is back in those days, the board allowed high school kids to come on the board. But thank you very much. I do appreciate very much getting this. But there's some things I want to tell you. I want to tell you why this is so important to me. Not the award, but the club itself. I do appreciate the boards we have, the board of directors in Oshkosh and the Tri-County Advisory Board in Berlin. Fine people. Those men and women on there are very dedicated, conscientious, and extremely well qualified. But the people who really make this place go is the staff, under the superb leadership of Mark Tassone. Thank you, Mark. This staff is incredible. I'm writing my granddaughter, sorry. You know the programs. There are a lot of programs, wonderful programs, teaching these kids what to do. But one thing isn't really said so much is that some of these kids come from homes that the guidance isn't so great, and in some cases they're really not appreciated. They're not really cared about, the kids about. They can come here, and the staff cares about them. The staff will take care of them. And that's so important. The staff will make them feel like they are really human beings, and they have potential. All this fun they have and all the things they're learning, underneath all that thing is to make a better person out of them. And that's what I really love about this place. Now let me take you back a few years, quite a few years, to when I first became in contact with the Boys and Girls Club. As Lori kind of mentioned, but this goes back, I've been here a long time. This is back in 1984. I got a call at the office from a gentleman by the name of Dan Harmon, and Dan was on the Boys Club board then. It was not Boys and Girls, the Boys Club board then, and he asked me on the phone, he asked me if I would be willing to help out in a fundraiser, a capital campaign fundraiser for the Boys Club. What I would be doing was I'd be going to various companies around the area and asking for help, financial help. And well, I told Dan, I said, I heard the Boys Club, but I hadn't any idea what really goes on there. No problem, he said. Some afternoon, I'll meet you down there in the late afternoon when the boys are there, and we'll take a look at the place. Okay, so we did that. I went down there to the club, and as Lori mentioned, the club then was on the corner of Main and Merritt. Adequate, but just barely adequate place. Nothing like the facility we have now. Went down there, and of course all the boys were running around, having a good time, making a lot of noise, and that was fun to see. But what really impressed me was the staff. The staff, there were 3 men on the staff. Jack Richard was the director. He was our original director. And he had 2 very fine young men working for him on the staff. Wally Graffin was one of them, and I think Wally is still with the Boys and Girls Club movement. And the other was my friend Jamie. Jamie Wilcox was the other guy. Those 3 guys were outstanding. I vividly remember this day. These guys, with all these kids running around in mayhem, kids, of course, having a good time, but there's always kids that have a problem of some sort, and they could go to any one of these 3 guys, and any one of those 3 guys would give these kids their undivided attention. Look right down at them, and that was the most important thing in the world right at that moment. Now the kids, the little boys' problem, to an adult may have been seemingly trivial, but to the little boy, it was not trivial. It was the most important thing they had in the world. And these staff guys made those boys know that it was a very important thing to them too. They made those boys know that they were important. Those boys had something to live for, they had a future. And I thought, well, this is wonderful. I was very impressed. And then it hit me. And it hit me hard. I realized that some of those boys, didn't know how many, which ones, some of those boys had no other adult to talk to. No other adult that could actually make them feel like they were worthwhile. No other adult that cared what they were going to be in the future. That got to me, and it still gets to me. That put a fire in me for the Boys and Girls Club, and that fire is still burning now, and that fire is not going out until I go out. That's how I feel about the Boys and Girls Club. Thank you.